Mr.
on behalf
Hegseth,
of the
I'm not
men
even
and
going to
women
go
fighting
into the.
overseas
I'm not even
and
going to go into the
advocating, and we manage our
accusations.
financial books with integrity across the board. How many people, everybody who runs a campaign.
I have limited time. I'm not going to get into the accusations that come from Fox News. I know you have some of your Fox News colleagues here. There were multiple instances of accusations against you about drinking on the job.
All anonymous, all false, all refuted by my colleagues who I worked with for 10 years at 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and everything
The challenge here for me, Mr. Hegseth,
they've only seen me be professional
is when there is
every
discussion
single time.
about personal challenges, and you admittedly had issues with heavy drinking. It's hard to kind of square this.
What happens when a nominee for Secretary of Defense is pressed about his past and refuses to give straight answers? This hearing turned into a showdown between Senator Mark Kelly and Pete Hegseth, the controversial nominee for the nation's top defense post. What unfolded was a tense back and forth filled with allegations of drunkenness, misconduct, and questions about honesty at the highest level. And what Kelly exposed was not just about one man's past, but about whether America can trust its next Secretary of Defense.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your service to this country.
Thank you, Senator.
Few nominees come into this room with all the necessary experience to do this job, to be Secretary of Defense. We get that. It's a reflection on just how big of a job this is. What I want to understand is whether or not you bring any of the necessary experience that this job requires. And here's where I'm concerned. Senator Coleman, in introducing you, and this is a quote, he said, "He has struggled and overcome great personal challenges," unquote. You walk in here saying that you've had personal and character issues in your past, including heavy drinking, which you wrote about. And you said, and this is a quote from you, that you said, "I sit before you as an open book." Yet you haven't actually said what personal challenges it is that you've overcome when you've been asked about them. So I'm going to give you an opportunity here to be as forthright as you say you want to be. So while leading concerned veterans of America, there were very specific cases cited by individuals about your conduct. I'm going to go through a few of them, and I just want you to tell me if these are true or false. Very simple. On Memorial Day 2014, at a CVA event in Virginia, you needed to be carried out of the event for being intoxicated.
Senator, anonymous
True.
smears.
Just true or false? Very simple. Summer of 2014 in Cleveland, drunk in public with the CVA team.
Anonymous smears.
I'm just asking for true or false questions. True or false answers. An event in North Carolina, drunk in front of 3 young female staff members after you had instituted a no alcohol policy and then reversed it. True or false?
Anonymous smears.
December of 2014 at the CVA Christmas party at the Grand Hyatt at Washington, D.C., you were noticeably intoxicated and had to be carried up to your room. Is that true or false?
Anonymous smears.
Another time, a CVA staffer stated that you passed out in the back of a party bus. Is that true or false?
Anonymous smears.
In 2014, while in Louisiana on official business for CVA, did you take your staff, including young female staff members, to a strip club?
Absolutely not. Anonymous smears.
So, is it accurate that the organization reached a financial settlement with a female staffer who claimed to be at a strip club with you, and there was a colleague who attempted to sexually assault her? Was there a financial settlement?
Senator, I was not involved in that. I don't know the nature of how that played out.
But you understand there was a financial settlement for a young female staffer who accused another member of the organization, not you, of sexual assault in a strip club.
We have multiple statements on the record referring to that.
But you claim you were not there when that occurred.
Absolutely not.
Now, the behavior I cited, if true, do you think that this behavior of intoxication, going into these type of establishments, women on your staff being so uncomfortable that they have to file these sort of harassment claims, do you think this is appropriate behavior for a leader?
Senator, the overwhelming majority of anyone who's worked for me, including the on-the-record statements that have been submitted to this, with their name on it, on the record, men and women who worked with me every day, are the overwhelming preponderance of evidence that testify to my leadership and professionalism in leading Vets for Freedom and Concerned Veterans for America. My
Okay.
leadership has been completely impugned on these veterans organizations that did fantastic work.
Mr.
on behalf
Hegseth,
of
I'm not
men
even
and
going to
women
go
fighting
into the.
overseas
I'm not even
and
going to go into
advocating,
the
and we managed our
accusations.
financial books with integrity across the board. How many people? Everybody who runs a campaign.
I have limited time. I'm not going to get into the accusations that come from Fox News. I know you have some of your Fox News colleagues here. There were multiple instances of accusations against you about drinking on the job.
All
coming
anonymous,
in.
all false, all refuted by my colleagues who I worked with for 10 years at 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and everything
The
in
challenge
between,
here for me,
and
Mr.
said
Hegseth,
they've only seen me be professional
is when there is
every
discussion
single time.
about personal challenges, and you admittedly had issues with heavy drinking. It's hard to kind of square this, to square the circle here. It's kind of a difficult thing to do. Let me ask you, if I have about 90 seconds left here, if you had to answer these questions about sexual assault against you and your drinking and your personal conduct, would it have been different if you were under oath?
Senator, all I'm pointing out is the false claims against me.
Okay, I take it you do not want to answer that question. I walked into this hearing this morning concerned that you haven't demonstrated adequate leadership in your civilian roles. And this is a dangerous world we're living in here. And America cannot afford a Secretary of Defense who is unprepared for that mission. I'm going to leave with concerns about your transparency. You say you've had personal issues in your past, yet when asked about those very issues, you blame an anonymous smear campaign, even when many of these claims are not anonymous. Which is it? Have you overcome personal issues, or are you the target of a smear campaign? It can't be both. It's clear to me that you're not being honest with us or the American people because you know the truth would disqualify you from getting the job. And just as concerning as each of these specific disqualifying accusations are, what concerns me just as much is the idea of having a Secretary of Defense who is not transparent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back my 2 seconds.
Thank you, Senator Kelly.
Senator Mark Kelly started off by reminding everyone in the room the Secretary of Defense role is enormous, and no nominee arrives with every skill set already in place. But his concern was deeper than qualifications. It was about honesty, character, and whether Pete Hegseth could be trusted to handle one of the most sensitive jobs in government. Then came the list of allegations. Kelly didn't hold back. First, Memorial Day 2014 in Virginia, reports that Hegseth had to be carried out of a veterans event because he was intoxicated. Kelly asked directly, true or false? Hegseth's response? Anonymous smears. Now pause here. Notice the strategy. Instead of denying or admitting, he reframed the question entirely. That's a classic dodge in high-stakes hearings. Shift the issue from your own conduct to the credibility of the accusers. But the problem is, it doesn't answer the question. Kelly pressed on. Summer 2014 in Cleveland, another incident of being drunk in public with his Concerned Veterans for America team. True or false? Again, anonymous smears. Then North Carolina after instituting a no-alcohol policy, reversing it, and allegedly drinking in front of young female staff members. Same answer. And finally, allegations that he passed out in the back of a party bus. The same line repeated like a shield. Here's where the commentary matters. When every answer is the same, it raises a red flag. Either all his incidents are false or the nominee is hiding behind a talking point. And in confirmation hearings, credibility depends on more than repetition. But Kelly wasn't finished. He moved on to one of the most damaging claims, a female staffer who said she was taken to a strip club during an official trip where another colleague attempted to sexually assault her. That situation, according to records, led to a financial settlement. Kelly asked Hegseth directly, "Were you there? Did you know about it? Did you bear any responsibility?" Hegseth shot it down immediately. Absolutely not. Anonymous smears. And here, Senator Kelly cut through. Not all of these allegations are anonymous, he reminded the nominee. And more importantly, Hegseth himself had admitted to personal challenges in the past, including heavy drinking. He had even described himself as an open book. So Kelly posed the core contradiction. If you admit to past struggles, then how can every single accusation be dismissed as fabricated? You can't claim redemption on one hand and deny responsibility on the other. That's the heart of it. Leaders don't have to be perfect, but they do have to be consistent. If your story doesn't line up, if you call yourself an open book, but close the pages under questioning, that inconsistency becomes the story. Kelly made the stakes crystal clear. The role of Secretary of Defense isn't just about running the Pentagon. It's about being trusted by Congress, by service members, by allies abroad. If the nominee can't give a straight answer in a hearing, how can the world trust them in a crisis? And that's why Kelly ended on such a sharp point. Either Pete Hegseth has overcome genuine personal struggles and can admit them, or he's hiding behind the label of a smear campaign. But it cannot be both. And in Kelly's view, Hegseth's unwillingness to answer honestly wasn't just a personal flaw, it was disqualifying for the job. By the end of this hearing, Senator Mark Kelly made it crystal clear this wasn't just about allegations of drinking or misconduct years ago. It was about honesty today. If a nominee for Secretary of Defense can't answer questions openly in a Senate hearing, what happens when the stakes involve life and death decisions, war and peace, or the trust of America's allies? So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Pete Hegseth was unfairly targeted by old allegations? Or do you agree with Senator Kelly that his lack of transparency is disqualifying? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading them. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with others who follow politics and government accountability, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis of the hearings shaping our future. And don't forget, turn on the notification bell so you never miss when we drop a new video. This was a fiery exchange, but the real story is about trust, leadership, and the standards we set for those who lead America's defense. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.